Yo, what is up, guys? This is RizzyPOW, and this is round 1 of the playoffs for Season 7 of the NPL, the National Pokeball League. We, of course, are the Phoenix and Floors, and we're here about to show what we're made of this season of the NPL and the playoffs. But before that, I know I've been uploading a while, and I wasn't able to upload my last 2 weeks of the NPL, week 9 and week 10 up against Matty Brolick and then Mr. Mercuro. What happened essentially was that for my week 9 game, I was going to end up uploading that late, like by a couple days, like 3 days, because I was really busy during that time. And then what happened is that replays went down at that time, so I wasn't even able to get up my match against Matty. What I could have done though is I could have still like recorded Matty's video and uploaded it, but I just never got a chance to. I don't know, I probably should have, but anyways, we lost the game 1-0. If you guys want to see it, you guys can check out it from Matty's perspective. And I ended up playing Mr. Mercuro for week 10, and I did win 1-0 against him, but unfortunately the replays were down, so that replay is gone until whatever the showdown gods can give us the replays back, which I think they're working on it, but I'm not really optimistic that they're gonna come back. But if they do, I don't know if I'll upload that match still, because now round 1 of playoffs are up. I probably won't, but it was actually a really good game, and I'm pretty sad that it's not gonna be going up. But yeah, against Matty though, I did choke at the end. I'm kind of upset about that. We ended up finishing the season with a 6-4 record, +5 differential, and top of the Premier's Conference. So we got the first seed, if you can see right here, and we're gonna be going up against Trev CL, because this guy, he was fucking, I thought he was gonna get 2nd or 3rd seed, but the last 2 weeks he got 6-0'd, and then he lost to David. So this man fucking, I'm playing him for the first round of playoffs, which kind of sucks. I was thinking I was gonna play Blake, which I love Blake, and it's not about like the players or anything. I would have rather played Blake just based on matchup, because I felt like my matchup against Trev was honestly not that good, and I felt like against Trev I had one of the worst matchups probably in the entire league. He did make some changes that I felt that my matchup got a lot better, but yeah, overall I didn't really like the matchup that much against Trev. But unfortunately, we're gonna have to fucking fight him round 1 of playoffs. Which it's kind of sucky. I was thinking I was gonna play Blake, but fucking Trev, man, he got 6-0. This man, oh my god. But we still got first seed in our conference, which I'm really happy about. And I'm just gonna go through my team, but first off, we ended up the season 5th overall because Rob won in a meme game against Jolt. But yeah, anyways, I'm going to I guess I'm just gonna get into the team. The team matchups should show up on the right hand side of the screen right now. We got Trevor has a Finny, Volcarona, Mega Glade, Shaman. He has Silvally, Uxie, Bisharp, Durgalgi, Lando I, which is a Z-move user, and then he has his Suncorn, Torkoal, and Victory Bell, which he did bring Torkoal and Victory Bell against me last time, and he did change up his team a lot. As you can see now, he has Volcarona, he has Shaman, Bisharp, Durgalgi, and Lando I, which like his team is like pretty much half of it is different. He still has a Suncore, which is super scary against my team, although I have a good feeling, like I prepped for it really well still, but I had a really good feeling that he was probably not going to be running the Suncore against me. At the same time, I thought there's a really good chance, because it does destroy my team, but I felt like he might not want to do the same thing twice, because, you know, now I have a better understanding of it. Like he lost the niche of having Sucker Punch on it for Gengar, because like obviously now I know about it and everything, but yeah, let's just get into the team that I built for Trev. And something that is huge about this change against Trev's team is that he traded off Weavile and he replaced it with a different dark type, being in Bisharp. But that is huge for me because I was pretty Weavile weak. I had Blaziken, but Blaziken is actually super good against Trev's team. Like the first time I was thinking about bringing a banded Blaziken with like Flare Blitz because he has very bad fire resist, and this time I was thinking about like agility with Flare Blitz and Brave Bird, or like even Scarf. And I was really close to bringing it. It would also help versus Bisharp, which this team is actually kind of weak to Bisharp, but I can handle it. And I'll explain a little bit as we go on. But yeah, this is pretty much it. This is my win con that I built, by the way. Like, the team is revolved around Mega Aerodactyl this week because it's so good against this team. And the biggest reason why it's good against this team, again, he lost Weavile, one of the biggest threats to my team, I felt. And on top of that, his now fastest Mon is Mega Gallade, and that is huge for Mega Aerodactyl. I ended up adding a lot of speed, a bit more speed to actually outspeed Scarf, Adamant, Bisharp, because I had a feeling there's a decent chance he would bring it. I did not, like, I just had to add a little bit more speed for that. I didn't want to outspeed Jolly Scarf Bisharp just because, couple reasons. I wanted the EVs. I love these EVs and how they work together. Jolly Scarf Bisharp could have been scary, but I would have been able to handle it. I also had a feeling that if he did bring Bisharp, it would most likely be Adamant. Like, I think he would have sped crept Bisharp because Adamant Bisharp is just so good against my team. Like, he could have been Jolly, and maybe I should have sped crept a bit more just in case, but I decided not to. I also am really, this team is one of the teams I'm most proud of that I've ever built, so I'm pretty happy about it. As you can see, the EV spreads are really complicated, and that is no change as you go on throughout the entire team. And I'll explain these EVs a bit. But yeah, this HP investment is mostly for his priority. Like Shadow Sneak, Adamant Shadow Sneak from Gallade does not even do 25% to me or something like that. So that means, like, if I am, for some reason I have to take 3 rounds of rocks, then Shadow Sneak will not kill me. And then I have a shit ton of Spadef investment. I just added enough attack investment for Earthquake to be able to Oko Bisharp from full. And, you know, all this Spadef investment is good for Volcarona. It's good for, I'm thinking he might bring Scarf Finny. So with all this investment, after rocks, Finny can't even Oko me with Surf. And Hydro Pump doesn't Oko me from full. Because I think there's a really good chance to bring Scarf Finny. He brought that last time against me. And it's just like a really good check to a lot of my Mons. So there's that. And just looking at his team, like, it's so good. The Spadef investment also allows me to take on a Durgalgi that isn't choice specs. Helps me versus Victor Bell. Victor Bell can't Oko me after rocks with Life Orb Solar Beam, even a modest one. And all this HP investment also means that Adamant Lando I can't Oko me from full. So this is just, it was just a beautiful, beautiful spread right here. But yeah, I just talked about a win con. I ended up building the entire team around it. And this might also be a bit longer of a team builder just because I'm going through my sets. If you guys actually want to skip to the actual battle, there will be a timestamp in the description below. But I worked a lot on this team, and, you know, I guess you can learn a little bit from me if you really want to. Just now that I showed off my win condition, this was the first set that I thought of against this team. His team is very weak to the double stab with wing attack and earthquake, and I do have taunt actually for his Uxie, and roost is just really good because I can roost up on like stuff like Volcarona. I can roost on switches if he switches out of Mega Gallade. This is also like one of my best checks for Mega Gallade because it just Okos it with wing attack. Uxie cannot wall me because I have taunt, and with this EV spread, Foul Play does not 2KO me, so I will always beat it 1v1. Also, this HP investment helps me with Sucker Punch from Bisharp. And yeah, but let's just go into like a little bit of analysis of the matchup because I didn't really talk about like his matchup versus mine a bit. The biggest threats to my team, like he has a lot of huge threats to my team. The biggest ones are Mega Gallade. Finny is a pretty huge one too. Like the one that the ones that pop out the most are Mega Gallade, Finny, Lando I, and Victory Bell. Lando I is super good versus my team. I'm expecting most likely an agility set, but I can also see a scarf set. Like agility with Z Iron Tail is what I'm mostly expecting. Probably Adamant because he knows that I'm probably not going to be a plus speed nature on my Kieran Black, which I actually showed that just now just to show it off, and you guys saw that crazy EV spread. I will get to that in a second. That's one of the Mons I'm most proud of on this team as well. But anyways, he what is the team that I fucking what was I talking about? I was talking about, yeah, Landawai was huge threat, and then there were also like really big threats. This team is especially weak to both Bisharp and Durgalgi. I feel like I can handle everything else, like with how I built my team. I can still handle those two Pokemon, but there were like the underlying threats that like I had to build for everything else. And if I do see Bisharp or if I do see Durgalgi, I'm going to change up the way I play to adapt. Like I'm going to play much more much more aggressively versus him. Like with my Gengar, I'm going to be clicking I have Hinbar fighting on this Gengar, so I'll be clicking it a lot more just to prevent Bisharp from getting a free switch, or to at least let him know I'm predicting that, so he will be hesitant to bring it in on a potential Shadow Ball in the future. And yeah, so I'm this is the mon that I ended up leading with. Also not leading with, I built my team around this, but also one more thing that I just want to talk about the hazards and hazard removal this game. So obviously I have 4 hazard removals. You can see Mega Aerodactyl, Excadrill, Clefable, and Mesprit, and his rockers include what is it? He has Uxie, Bisharp, and Landawai, as well as Torkoal. So he has 4 rockers, and he's brought rocks on all of them. I don't think he's actually brought rocks on Landawai, but it's still a really good rocker, especially against my team, because it is a Pokemon that actually beats my main hazard removal in Excadrill. So like my Excadrill is really good versus team as a spinner because it can beat all of his mons. I have Toxic for the Uxie to help me beat that 1v1, and I can spin on it. And I outspeed Bisharp, I can just kill that with an Earthquake. I outspeed Torkoal, and I can kill that with an Earthquake. So Excadrill is really good versus his team as a spinner. And on top of that, it can, what is it? The only problem is that Landawai is a bit of a problem, and I was thinking about running Air Balloon, especially because it could be a potential rocker, as well as it helps me if it's a Rock Polish user in the game. But yeah, it's a rocker, it's a spinner that beats all of his rockers pretty much except for Landawai. So Excadrill is really solid in this match, and his hazard removal is pretty much limited to just Finny. Yeah, it's just Finny. I mean, Torkoal is technically a hazard removal, but like I feel like it's a really bad hazard removal unless you're Rest Talk, which he could bring, but I don't think that's that good of a set versus my team. Anyways, Finny is his hazard removal, and I have stuff like Spike's Greninja that can also carry Gunk Shot to just nuke that Finny. So that's part of my hazards. And then what is the rocker that I decided to bring? I did decide to bring Clef, which does not beat Finny, but I still decided to bring it as my rocker, and I'll get that in a second. But sorry, I started talking about that a lot. Let's get into the actual sets right here. So once I saw this Aerodactyl, well, obviously I knew I wanted Excadrill because, that was a good spinner against this team. I also could run Adamant, and these EVs actually make it so that Uxie's Foul Play does not 2-hit KO me after rocks. So that's really good because that allows me to get a Toxic off on it, and the leftover is going to be some longevity. I can't fucking pronounce that word. Longevity. Fuck, man. Longevity. God fucking damn it. Yeah, but yeah, no reason to have any other ability other than Mold Breaker. I can hit Uxie with an Earthquake. Yeah, his main switch in this is probably going to be Shaman, and I can hit that with the Adamant Iron Head, but it's still not going to be the best. I can also Toxic on the switch in, which, he has Natural Cure, but still getting some residual damage while it's inside makes him want to switch out a bit faster, and while he's in, he's still going to be getting weakened by Toxic, so at least I'm going to get some damage off on him with Toxic. Toxic is mostly there for Uxie, though, and since Uxie is off the ground, even in Misty terrain, I'm going to be able to land that Toxic on it, so that's really good. It's a really reliable spinner versus his team, and yeah, it's also like a good check to a lot of his Pokemon. Like, it's a good check to Bisharp, it's a good check to Durgalgi. It can outspeed many Finny sets unless he's like timid, and I can just hit that with an Adamant Earthquake. He doesn't have good switch-ins to this besides Uxie, which I can Toxic. And it's just a really good mon versus his team. So that was pretty much it. This isn't really too much heat or anything. Like, this is just like kind of like a standardish set, but it's really nice. And I was debating between Leftovers and Air Balloon, and the reason why I decided to go Leftovers in the end is because probably the mon that I prepped the least for was Silvally, and I knew there was a decent chance Silvally Steel could come. I know that someone brought that against me in a mock, and I know when I was brainstorming with some people were saying, yo, Silvally Steel is really good versus you. And Silvally Steel can't really touch Excadrill, like, besides Flamethrower, but I'm expecting it to want to be, like, adamant or at least physically offensive. So he's going to have to invest a lot in special attack to be able to do a ton of damage to me with Flamethrower, and especially like with Leftovers, that just helps my longevity versus stuff like Silvally Steel is the main one. Yeah, that's pretty much the main thing. Otherwise, I was really weak to it, but I really wanted Air Balloon because like a Scarf Lando is also super good versus my team. And I do have a sort of switch into it, but like if it's Scarf, it can also, like, if he knows I have a switch, and you can just keep on spamming U-turn and gain momentum like that. So in a way, I really was thinking about having Air Balloon on this. It would have been just nice to check the Lando, like pivot into Earthquakes from it. Just it would have been helpful, but I decided that in the end I wanted Leftovers on this. And also, like, Air Balloon would have been nice for, like, Rock Polish Lando, because if he Rock Polishes up, then he has to take 2 turns to kill me, and I can get a ton of damage off on it with an Iron Head. Anyways, we're just going to get into the next set. We're going to go into Kieran Black. So, Kieran Black this is a really weird Kieran Black set, and the EV spread is crazy. It's called KBBC, and it is hard. You know, it has a hard, it's hard. It's a big black cock, if you don't know what BBC stands for, and it's erect because you can see its nature. Yes. Anyways, these are the 3 moves I had versus it. I was debating Draco Meteor, but I decided to go with Stone Edge for the Volcarona, just because the rest of my team is actually pretty weak to Volcarona minus Mega Aerodactyl, but Mega Aerodactyl 1 is my win con, and if he does bring Volcarona, I can definitely see like a lure for the Mega Aerodactyl, since it's such a huge threat versus team. He could be Wisp or Toxic, and, you know, and just status me on the switch in. So I wanted like another way to make sure that I can beat it, and plus if Aerodactyl goes down for some reason, I have Stone Edge Kieran Black in the back as well too, so I shouldn't lose to it. I do have Stone Edge over Rock Slide, just because if he is like a fat Wisp set, then since I don't have any attack investment on this spread, then Rock Slide might not be able to 2 KO. So I have Stone Edge for that. It's also really good for Torkoal, because Rock Slide is so weak against Torkoal, because Torkoal is fat. I don't have much investment, and Rock Slide doesn't even 3-KO Torkoal. So if he is for some reason that Rest Talk set, this Kyurem is going to lose to it. Whereas if I am Stone Edge, then I can 3-KO Torkoal, I can 2-KO after Rocks, and it just does way more damage than Rock Slide. And I was replacing Draco Meteor, which one of the reasons for Draco Meteor was to do more damage to Torkoal. So I wanted Stone Edge for sure, even though I'm going to have to risk that 80% accuracy. It's going to suck, but hopefully we don't miss, man. Anyways, let me just get into the EV spread. So I was thinking about my team, and I was I was wondering, how the fuck am I going to beat this Landorus Eye? And the set that I was thinking he was probably going to run was Adamant Rock Polish with like Z Iron Tail, and he could even have something like Z Superpower, which, you know, I do have Choppleberry, not for Lando Eye, but it's mostly for Mega Gallade, but it can help versus Lando Eye, so there is that. But Z Iron Tail, like, yeah, it was just really good against my team, and so I decided to come up with this Fat Kyurem set to sort of switch into it. This EV spread means that actually, what is it? Lando Eye, Adamant Stone Edge, non-boosted Stone Edge actually does not 2-KO Kyurem Black from full, which is kind of insane. I live a Z Adamant Iron Tail from Lando Eye from full. If Rocks are up, that's going to be a problem, but again, I have a really reliable spinner against his team, so that's really good for me. You know, these moves are good, and also like Choppleberries for the Mega Gallade, because he's going to close combat me. If he's weakened at -1, Ice Beam will be able to do like 60 to 70% to it, so that's that's also super good. And it's like super fat. Like I think at +2 I can still most likely live I can live a jolly close combat from Mega Gallade after the Chopo Berry, because Kyurem is actually fucking fat. Like this thing literally lives everything. I just needed this investment and a little bit right here. This special defense investment was there to live like Dazzling Gleams from Shaman and stuff, and I have this speed to be able to outspeed Jolly Bisharp. So help me have a check versus it. It doesn't kill it with Fusion Bolt, but it is a ton of damage with Fusion Bolt to Bisharp. Sorry, this is already 20 minutes in, and I've only gone through 3 mons, but you guys can skip to the actual battle. I'm sorry. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. What else is this? Like this thing like barely takes anything from Finny. Like Moonblast doesn't do anything. Victory Bell does not 2-hit KO this thing with Life Orb, Modest, Sludge Bomb. So it helps me versus Victory Bell, and I can just OHKO it with an Ice Beam. What else is this really good for? You know, again, it doesn't take any damage from Volcarona, and I can Stone Edge it. The fact that Volcarona is also not Z-move is super good, because if it was, it could potentially beat Mega Aerodactyl with some Z Psychic or something. What else is this good for? It can live hits from like anything. It can live an Iron Head from Bisharp. It's so fat. Yeah, I pretty much went through everything that can live, and you know, it should be good for at least 1 kill, I'm hoping. And if not, it's like the glue of the team to make sure I don't lose to certain mons and, you know, check certain mons. You know, I have this in the back. So we just went over Mega Aerodactyl, went over Excadrill, Kyurem Black, and we're just gonna go through my rocker right now, because you know, I was talking about how Clef was gonna be my rocker, and I ended up making my rocker, and I gave it a Caveat Berry. And the reason why I gave it a Caveat Berry is a couple reasons. The main reason is for the Mega Gallade. Adamant Poison Jab does a shit ton of damage to me. I added a ton of defense investment. I have a little bit of Spadef investment to make sure that if he doesn't get a Spadef drop and he's just like, you know, timid max special attack, Shaman, Sea Flare does not 2-hit KO me, so maybe that could come in use and I can get a Fire Blast off versus it. But it's just a little bit of EVs that I had to spend on it, which I felt like was worth it. It also helps me like taking Sludge Bombs from what is it? It helps me take a Sludge Bomb from that one Pokemon, Victory Bell, and I can just kill it in the sun with a Fire Blast. So that's really good. And if Finny probably versus me is gonna taunt me, and I'll just probably Moonblast it to get damage off on it, because weakening Finny is also good for Mega Aerodactyl as a win con later. So that's also good. It is my rocker, so hopefully I can get up rocks pretty well up against it. It beats Torkoal, because even though Torkoal can clear Smog me, you know, I still beat a 1v1. It can take hits from Lando. Obviously, if it's Iron Tail, it's not going to take them that well. It also is really good to pivot into like Specs, Draco Meteors from Durgology. Even though it could go for Sludge Wave, like I can just play around Durgology because I have at least an immunity to it, and I do have an immunity to Sludge Wave with my Excadrill. So not much to talk about this set. You know, I can even technically take a Sludge Wave from Durgology and hit it with a Moonblast if the situation ever rises for that. But that's a really, really specific scenario. So we're just gonna get into the next mon. I was talking earlier about Greninja. And last time I brought a Focus Sash Greninja, but I decided to bring an Expert Belt Greninja this match. And Water Shuriken is another way to help me check Lando Y, because, you know, it's a huge threat and it gives me a nice check versus it. Again, I have Spikes, which have been coming clutch in the mocks, but not super clutch. I may or may not be able to get Spikes up, but if I do, it's going to be really good. It can help weaken stuff for Mega Aerodactyl in the later game, which is good. And this investment, I think the speed outspeeds Mega Gallade, but this special attack, the attack is more important than I put the rest in special attack, because this special attack like allows me to do, like, you know, it still gets the OHKOs I want, but this attack investment means that after 2 layers of rocks, like a Finny with no HP investment, maybe like a Scarf Finny, gets OHKO'd by Gunk Shot. So that's why I have this investment. Like, and Gunk Shot is just super good for like Shaman and stuff, so I don't mind that to invest that much in attack. Like, this special attack is still enough for me to get the damage I want with Dark Pulse and Water Shuriken, especially with the Expert Belt. And yeah, then the last one is going to be Gengar. And this is Assault Vest Gengar. This is a pretty heat set, pretty cool. I have Hidden Power Fighting, which if I do see Bisharp, I'm going to be hitting this a lot. The main thing that this is there for is for the Finny. I'm planning on coming into Finny a lot. Like, you know, if it's a Scarf Finny, I take nothing from Moonblast or Surf, and I can, you know, I threaten his team. He does not have good switch-ins to this. I just Oko Lando with an Icy Wind, so if he tries setting, if he thinks he can live a Shadow Ball and then set up a Rock Polish versus me, he's going to die to Icy Wind. I was thinking about changing this to Focus Blast and then changing this to Hidden Power Rock, because his only real switch-in to Gengar is the Volcarona. And at the same time, I'm not too scared of Volcarona because I have Stone Edge, Fat Kyurem, and I have Mega Aerodactyl, so I'm not too scared of it. So I decided in the end this was the best way, because Lando I was a much bigger threat to my team. Shadow Ball was Shadow Ball and like just Double Stab is amazing versus team, and you know that's pretty much it. It can take hits from Finny. It comes in and it can most likely get a kill or a ton of damage off, and it can even live like Fire Blast from Volcarona if I really need it to do that. Hits from Shaman, like it can live Earth Powers from Shaman. I can easily pivot into Seed Flares from it. What else is it good for? Dragalge, I can live a non-specs Draco Meteor from Dragalge. It's good from pivoting into Lava Plumes from Torkoal. Victory Bell is it's also there for Victory Bell, so I do have the Kyurem for Victory Bell, but I wanted another one. Like even Aerodactyl is nice as long as things don't get weakened. But it's another way for me to check the Victory Bell, because I can live a hit guaranteed. I have a ton of HP investment. This is mostly for Adamant Shadow Sneak from Greninja, or Adamant Shadow Sneak from Gallade does a lot less, and I just wanted this amount of investment. I knew what this investment did right before the match, but now I'm a bit tired and I can't tell you exactly what they do, but they were important, trust me. Yeah, so I'm a bit tired. I'm recording this right after the match happened, and it's going to be going up the next day. It's kind of late at night. It's 10 p.m. And I'm just a bit tired, but yeah, this thing is just super good versus his team. He does not have good switch-ins, and yeah, that's pretty much the team. I'm just gonna explain. Like, I have something for everything. Like Finny, we can go move down the list real quick. So Finny, I have Gengar for, and I get a kill. Like I take advantage of Finny if it's like offensive. Obviously, like it can try taunting me and shit, but I'm probably gonna go hard Gengar every single time, and I can get a kill. Volcarona, I have Kyurem Black for. I have Mega Aerodactyl, and like I even have Water Shuriken on Greninja. It can't really set up on anything on my team except for Clef. And even if it does, like I have fat stuff that takes hits from it, especially since it isn't Z-move. Mega Gallade, again, Kyurem can take a hit from Mega Gallade with a Chople Berry. It's fucking fat. Mega Aerodactyl is my best check to it. I have a ton. I'm thinking he's going to run Adamant, and I do have enough investment to outspeed Adamant Gallade. But you know, what's also good about it is that like Shadow Sneak is not going to be doing a ton to me. Like it's going to do about 60%, but you know, I can kill it with the Shadow Ball. So this is a check to at least Adamant Gallade. What else do I have? I guess and then also Clef is for Gallade. I always live a hit from it because I have Kebia Berry, and I can just Moonblast it for it to a KO. Shaman, like this, it lives it 2 hits from Shaman. It's not really the best response to Shaman, but Kyurem takes anything from Shaman. It can Ice Beam it. This pivots into Shaman and just gets a kill. You know, Gunk Shot does about 80% to Shaman unless it's like really fat. Maybe it does like 60 or 70 then, but it's still doing a ton. This is Expert Belt boosted. Mega Aerodactyl just hits it with a wing attack, and it's taking a shit ton of damage. And it can't 2-hit kill Mega Aerodactyl unless it's Life Orb, I think. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, Silvally Steel, still very scary. It can have like X-Scissor to touch Greninja, but like Excadrill should be kind of walling it and be able to spin on it and stuff like that. But yeah, Silvally Steel is definitely one of the biggest threats to this team. I do have like a lot of things outspeed it though, and I can do a lot of damage to it. I was thinking about also changing the Focus Blast because it's what threat Silvally Steel was. I know Eric was telling me to do that. Sorry, I'm just going down the list. Uxie, like Aerodactyl deals with it. This is doing a ton of damage to it. Expert Belt Dark Pulse is just doing a ton. I have Toxic on this. What is it really doing to Kyurem Black? And Clefable just soft blows all over it. Bisharp, again, like, everything lives a hit from Bisharp and does a ton of damage to it, except for Greninja. But, yeah, I guess Gengar does get Sucker Punched by it. I do think he's going to expect the Reflect type, and I don't think he's going to Sucker, at least right away. Because Trev has built me with me before. He knows I like Reflect type Gengar, and I've run it in the past specifically for Bisharp. So I don't really expect him to do it. Also, if you guys can't see the name, I have an eggplant right here, because if you guys don't know, Gengar looks like a fucking eggplant. Don't at me. It looks like an eggplant. Yeah, and then, you know, Lando Y, I have Fat Kyurem for. To always check it. I have, you know, Water Shuriken on Ninja, just stuff that does damage to it. Torkoal and Victory Bell, like, this lives a hit, kills it with Wing Attack. I have this, which lives anyone hit. It's Assault Vest. This lives anyone hit, kills it with Ice Beam. I have Kebia for Victory Bell and Fire Blast. So, sorry about the 30-minute fucking long team builder, but the battle is actually really short. So hopefully it won't take that long. I'm expecting about a 40-minute video. So I'm really sorry that I took a bit long on the team builder, but I did spend a lot of time on this. So yeah, sorry. And I also had to explain the past couple weeks of the NPL. So let's get right into the actual battle up against Trev CL. Alright, we are here with the actual battle up against Trev CL. This is round 1 of playoffs, boys. The other playoff matches in our conference is Mono against Blake. We got Gypsy versus Rob Jr. And then we got Cheese versus Verge. So they all should be going up today. Actually, at the time of this battle, of me recording this battle, this is actually Saturday night, and some of the battles haven't happened yet. So I don't know if everyone's going to be uploading tomorrow. Probably not. I know at least Cheese and me and Trev and Cheese and Verd and me and Trev are going to be uploading today, unless, you know, maybe they're lazy. We've done our battles. I don't know about the other 2 battles, what's going on with them or when they're going to be uploaded. Hopefully soon, but yeah, just look out for that. Also, just a plug, you know, make sure you go check out fucking Trev. He is the link. He's one of the links in the description below. Go join the NPL fan server. We're actually like being really interactive there, and I'm actually kind of in charge of a lot of stuff going on the NPL fan server, so make sure to go fucking join it. I'm doing a lot for it, so the link will be in the description. Follow the NPL Twitter, check out their fucking channel and all this shit. But anyways, we're gonna look at Trev's team right over here, and as you can see from the team builder, he did not actually end up bringing the Suncore, which I did have like really good prep for it. Like I could have handled it if he brought it. Which I'm kind of happy that he didn't bring it, because Torkoal as a rocker was a bit annoying, especially for like this Pokemon right here, Excadrill. But, you know, I could have easily handled it. The only thing is that, like, yeah, I had a feeling he wasn't going to bring it just because Trev brought it last time. I just had a feeling he was going to most likely try something else, and I was right. He didn't end up bringing it, and he brought a different team, much different team than he brought last time. Because obviously he has like a ton of changes, but he brought the Lando Y, he brought the Mega Glade, he brought Silvally, so I was pretty confident this was going to be Silvally Steel. He brought a Finny, Shaman, and Bisharp. So just looking at his team, I know Trev loves Bisharp as a rocker, so I'm expecting this to be Rock Bisharp. Like I was saying that I thought Rock's Lando Y was super good this match, because, you know, it guaranteed Rock, like it was just like it helped get Rocks up like pretty nicely, because it beat Excadrill. But just like knowing Trev, I doubt it he would have brought Rocks and Lando Y, especially when Lando Y has such a good matchup versus like my team offensively. Like Scarf or Rock Polish was just amazing versus me. So I thought that it was going to be probably one of those sets. Mega Glade, I'm just expecting probably like 4 attacks Mega Glade. This Silvally Steel again, I was thinking maybe SD, probably with, I was thinking Pursuit was a really good option, maybe to trap Gengar. Finny, I was thinking was probably like a good Scarfer, it could have been like, but maybe just like an offensive attacker. I thought bulky, like he could have easily been bulky with Taunt for Clef, but he easily could have not been. Shaman, I wasn't sure, like I thought maybe like he would be like offensive Life Orb, or just like kind of fat. Like fattish offensive, like leftovers with max special attack is what I was thinking. And then Bisharp, I was pretty confident it was going to be his rocker just by the makeup of this team that he brought. So it was really nice. I don't have to worry about something like Scarf Bisharp trapping my Gengar or anything. So that's really nice. Anyways, He didn't bring stuff like Volcarona. He obviously didn't bring the Sun Core. He didn't bring Dragalge, thank fucking God, because that thing was scary, because like a Specs Dragalge just came in on Gengar as well as Greninja, and it could have potentially got a kill. I'd have to pivot around that very, very carefully. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just looking at this team matchup, and like it was a scary team they brought, because he brought Silvally Steel, and I was kind of scared of that. You can see my team. I'm very weak to like Silvally Steel. I don't take multi-attacks really well, especially if it's like X Scissor or like Thunderbolt and a Flamethrower for my Drill and my Greninja. And Greninja doesn't do a ton of damage to it back. Its hardest hitting move is Dark Pulse, and it's Expert Belt, so it's not getting a damage boost against it with that move. So I decided I'm going to lead off with my Mega Aerodactyl because, you know, it beats the Mega Gallade. Silvally Steel, that was going to be a really scary lead for me, and I knew it was a pretty decent lead for me. If he did that, I was going to go hard into Drill, and then, you know, maybe get an attack off. I was probably going to Iron Head because he could easily pivot into Lando, and I did not want to give that thing a free switch in or his Shaman, and I at least got damage off on that thing. So if he did lead off Silvally Steel, it was going to be kind of scary, but I knew I was going to go hard Drill. Mega Aerodactyl also is good for Shaman. It also kills Bisharp from full unless he's like really fat. If he led off with Lando I, it was probably going to be Scarf. It was going to probably be Scarf, and there's no way he would stay in, and I live like a Adamant. I live in Adamant Stone Edge, so if he's Scarf, he cannot kill me. Only problem is I don't do much damage back to it with wing attacks, so the worst possible lead would be Lando Y, and I was kind of praying that he wouldn't lead off with it, but I felt like Mega Aerodactyl just versus the rest of my team was my safest option as a lead, so I led off with my Mega Aerodactyl as he led off with the Lando I. So god fucking damn it, I had a really hard first turn as I actually just switched out hard into Kyurem, so I wasn't sure. He led off with it, so I was pretty positive he wasn't going to be like a Rock Power Z move set. He might have been a rocker because he led off with it, although, you know, I was still pretty confident Bishop was probably the rocker. I was thinking that if he did Stone Edge right here, it would have done less than 50%, and I was able to get a hit off on something. And I don't mind, like, Kyurem getting weakened kind of sucks for later, but like at least I'm getting, I get a fire off an Ice Beam or something, so I'm just going to switch out into my Kyurem Black, and if he was Z-move right then, like he gets Stone Edge and then Z-Stone Edge, that would have been awful, but I didn't think he would be a Z-move by the way he let off with it, but he actually just U-turns first turn, which is fine. It kind of sucks because now he gets a free switch in Silvally Steel, but as I said before, I was just going to go hard Drill at least the first time on this Silvally, as he does a lot of damage to me, and from that he actually got like a really high Jolly roll, so I thought this thing was Adamant Silvally most likely. So I was thinking it was probably Adamant pretty much the entire game. I actually only found out that it was Jolly at the end, like after the battle happened. So I'm going to go on a Drill, and actually right here I make a pretty big play because I was pretty positive. Like, I thought Shaman or Lando Y was coming in. I had a feeling that Lando Y was more likely coming in because, you know, it's such a good offensive threat against my team. And I decided to click Iron Head right there. I was kind of a man. If he did click like Flamethrower right there, he would have been able to 2-hit kill me, and he might have outsped as well. So that would have been pretty bad. But I did just click Iron Head right there, and I got a ton of damage off on Lando. I just had a feeling he was not going to stay in. And, you know, I was right. It just didn't make much sense for him to stay in because Flamethrower wasn't going to be doing a ton even if he had it. And right here, I do go on a Clef because I'm pretty confident this thing is Scarf right now. And if I do go on a Clef, then I can live any one hit. There's no way he was going to go for Iron Tail right over here. And, you know, I just thought that Clef was my safest play because it also gave me a chance to get my rocks up. So instead of actually getting my rocks up, I decided not to make that play. I know he's locked in Superpower. And again, from my team builder, if you do not remember, I could not let Bisharp get a kill, and if he did bring Bisharp, I was going to play very aggressively against it. And this wasn't just because of Bisharp, but the fact that he also brought Silvally Steel, and I'm really terrified of Silvally Steel against my team. You know, it was something like I was just really scared of it. I don't have good switch-ins to it, and it's still really fat. So I decided to actually just fire off a Fire Blast. I thought he was probably going to go Silvally Steel. Bisharp was also like a thing I thought he was going to go on to, as he does go on to Bisharp. So that's fine with me. I got a ton of damage off on it right here, and I could have probably lived in Iron Head from full unless maybe it was Life Orb or something like that. And now, like, even Life Orb, I think I would have been able to live because I am max defense. And I was thinking about firing off another Moonblast and killing it, but I really want to Clef later in the game for the Mega Gallade. I was pretty confident it was also going to click rocks, but you know, I decided to still switch out, and I actually go out into my Greninja because, you know, if he does go for an attack, I should be able to easily take it. And I actually just fire off a Dark Pulse as he's going to bring in his Finny, and that Finny, that damage like shows that he doesn't have any HP investment. So I wasn't sure. He did have leftovers though, so I was thinking maybe this was like a modest, or maybe like a timid but like max special attack, max speed set. That's what I was thinking right now with like leftovers. Maybe a Calm Mind set would be really good as well. But I'm just going to go hard out into my AV Gengar because that was why I brought it, and now I can get kind of a kill right here. And it's actually really good because Bisharp is weakened to the point where Shadow Ball kills it. And yeah, that's just really good for me. So right here, I am an AV Gengar, so I'm not really scared of anything this Finny can do to me. And I didn't think there was any way he was going to go Bisharp first because the Shadow Ball is so obvious versus team. He does not have a good switch in. I had a feeling that he would stay in right here, but I did not want to go Sledge Wave just in case he went hard Bisharp. So I'm just going to keep on spamming Shadow Ball right here, even if he does not want to switch out. Even if he stays in, I'm okay with letting Gengar get weakened to prevent Bisharp from getting a free switch in. So I'm just going to keep on spamming Shadow Ball as he does make the Bisharp play right now, and it does die. So that's perfect for me. Bisharp wasn't able to do anything in this game except get up rocks, and I can spin them off later. So that's fine with me. Gengar right now, like it killed off the Bisharp is gone, and it can spam Shadow Ball versus team. But if you can see, like Silvally is really bulky and is always taking a hit and killing it with multi-attack. At this range, Gallade just kills it with Shadow Sneak. It's good for the Finny, but also from this damage that it did show with the Surf and Moonblast, it actually doesn't have any special attack investment. So right now I was thinking that he's probably like some weird defensive set with like Timid and max speed. But I wasn't sure. But it's not max special attack and it's not Scarf. So I won't lose to Finny if I do sack off Gengar, and I should be able to have responses to it. Like I didn't need it for that, and like it was good for Shaman as well, but these first 3 mons just beat it. So I decided that I'm just gonna Shadow Ball and get off damage right here because Silvally is now the biggest threat to my team after Bisharp is gone, or it might have even been more threatening than Bisharp, honestly. Lando is also a huge threat, but yeah, I'm just going to go for the Shadow Ball right here, and I get a ton of damage off on it. Now, putting it in range of Earthquake from my Mega Aerodactyl. I didn't want to go Mega Aerodactyl right here because rocks were up, and I was going to take, damage from rocks. But I decided to go Excadrill because he keeps on being scared out by Excadrill, like, so he doesn't have a good way to hit it, or he doesn't have any way to kill me from full. So I'm actually just going to go Excadrill right here, and this means that I can spin. Now, I was actually pretty scared that he would go for like a Flamethrower right here, or gone for a hit to hit my Excadrill. But I kind of just risked it right here. I feel like he might have stayed in predicting the spin, but I need these rocks gone because I needed Mega Aerodactyl. Like Mega Aerodactyl being at full was so important. It was a win condition, and also having Kieran Black not taking rocks damage is just really good for me. So I need to get rid of these rocks as he actually goes hard out into the Mega Gallade. So Mega Gallade right here can actually just fire off a close combat. So right here, I'm actually just going to go out into my Clefable. And what I can do with my Clefable right here is that because Kevia Berry is so obvious right here, and I knew he was expecting Kevia Berry. I brought it last time, and it just makes a ton of sense versus this team. He's not seeing leftovers after this turn. So I didn't think there was any way he was going to go for a Poison Jab. If he did, I did live one, and after it's taken the little bit of damage from Rapid Spin, this guarantees puts it in range of Wing Attack from my Adamant Aerodactyl, even if he is bulky. So it's not like I need a ton of damage off on it. Moonblast isn't killing it. Like, it would have been nice to put in range from like Dark Pulse from Greninja, but I really wanted my rocks to start weakening the Lando Y. And also Finny. Getting up rocks is also super good for Finny because Finny and Lando I are the two things that like get affected by rocks most, and they're the two things in the way of Aerodactyl sweeping his team at this point, because Silvally is now in range of Earthquake from Mega Aerodactyl. Shaman is not beating Mega Aerodactyl as well. So right here, I'm going to go for the rocks. I also thought there was a good chance he was going to switch out. I was really close for going for Fire Blast right here, expecting the Silvally Steel. But actually, I found out later that even if I did go for Fire Blast and he went as Silvally Steel, it wouldn't have killed from this range. So it wouldn't have actually mattered a ton. But I'm going to go for my rocks right here, which are going to start weakening this Tapu Fini and Landawai. His rocker is also gone, so I don't have to worry about rocks on my side of the field. And I can maybe get up some spikes on Greninja to start weakening that Fini. But right here, I'm actually just going to go on to Greninja. And as I said earlier, I want to get up a layer of spikes. As I do that, Dark Pulse wouldn't have killed this thing, and I'm okay with, one, I didn't know if he'd have X Scissor, and if he did, I'm okay with sacking off my Greninja to get an X Scissor. It's kind of annoying because I lose my Water Shuriken for the Lando, and also I touched my mic a bit there, so hopefully that isn't that bad. But yeah, I wanted like spikes up. It also like got Silvally lower later in the game because, you know, every time it switches in, it's going to take this damage with spikes and rocks. And he's actually going to kill me off. I thought there was a decent chance he'd switch, but even if he didn't switch, that's not the biggest deal in the world because now I get a free switch on to Mega Aerodactyl. Rocks are gone, and I can just fire off an Earthquake, and he does not have good switch-ins. So that's exactly what I'm going to do right over here, as he actually does go out into the Landawai expecting the Earthquake, which is fine. That's completely fine because he's taking rocks damage and he's getting weakened. So we can only do that like 3 or 4 more times. So that's good for me, and if I do ever predict that and go for a wing attack, he's just fucked. So that's also pretty good. So right over here, I actually go out into my Excadrill because I expected the Stone Edge. If he did go for like Superpower right there, that was going to be bad. But again, I didn't have any good switch into this thing because Kieran Black did get a bit weakened, so it's not going to be able to take two hits. And I didn't want it to get weakened for no reason by a Stone Edge. So I actually did go hard out into into Drill, and I didn't feel like he would fuck around with Mega Aerodactyl, especially how aggressively I've been playing. Like I Fire Blasted and got it and weakened his Bisharp. But yeah, I decided to go into my into my Excadrill, and right here I'm just gonna fire off an Iron Head as my best play, as he actually just Stone Edges again, which is completely fine with me because now this Landawai is gone. That is one thing gone from me. That's one thing preventing me now from sweeping with Fini, or sweeping with Mega Aerodactyl. Fini is the last thing, and I have layer of spikes and rocks up to weaken that thing. We already know he's leftover, so he's not like some 50% berry, which someone did bring against me in the mock, which could have been really bad here if he did have that, because like it would make it harder for Mega Aerodactyl to sweep. But I killed off the Landawai with the Drill, and he can now go out into his Mega Gallade. So right here, I'm actually just going to sack off Clefable. I want to keep Excadrill alive later for the Silvally Steel, and I felt that Clefable was doing the least amount of work. I already got rocks up, and even though he has a defogger, I'm fine with him defogging because he takes all the damage from coming in on hazards. So that's fine with me, as he's just going to kill him with 2 close combats, and this gives me a switch out into my Mega Aerodactyl, which again he does not have switch-ins for, so he sacks off his Mega Gallade, which is fine with me. I did have Chopo Berry, Kieran Black still in the back, which killed after a defense drop since all the hazards were up and he was weakened a little bit. So, you know, like Mega Gallade, I would have been fine if he sacked something else instead. But he's now going to go into Shaman. So I was really confused. I thought probably his play was going to be onto Fini, and he couldn't kill me. Like I thought Mega Gallade was pretty much going to, or Mega Aerodactyl was going to win right now because he couldn't kill me with anything from his Tapu Fini, because you know he also didn't have much special attack investment. I saw from the Gengar attacks, and you know, I kill it. I probably 2-hit KO'd after all these hazards with wing attack. I kill Silvally Steel at this point, and then I thought I would like he can't 2-hit KO with Seed Flare anyway with Shaman, and I do a ton of damage with him to wing attack. But right here, I'm just gonna go for a wing attack, as that actually barely doesn't kill. So he's definitely a fat Shaman, and he's gonna go for the Tailwind. So this is kind of scary because Silvally Steel can still potentially like win this game, so I need to be careful about it. So right here is that one. I wanted to make sure that Aerodactyl was at full health. I did not want to take it a seat. I didn't want to let it take a Seed Flare right here because that put in range of Surf from Fini, which there's a Tailwind up, so will outspeed everything on my team, and Finny's like also a threat under Tailwind. Also wanted to keep this at full because in a situation where Silvally Steel like is trying to sweep, I always live, if it's Adamant, which I was thinking it was Adamant, I have a very good chance to live a multi-attack. If it is Jolly, then I guarantee live a multi-attack from full. So right over here, I'm going to switch out into my Kieran Black because if he did Seed Flare right here, I live the Seed Flare plus a Dazzling Gleam. If he did Seed Flare and get the Spadef drop, I would have actually just gone hard into Drill on the Dazzling Gleam, and me going out into Kieran Black also wasted a turn of Tailwind, and if he did get the Spadef drop, I could have even wasted another turn by going out into Drill, although I wanted to keep Drill at a healthy rate, so I don't exactly want to do that, but he's actually going to go for Healing Wish, and this is actually really scary. So I'm just going to go for Fusion Bolt because it is my hardest way to hit this Silvally, and as you're going to see, it does not 2 KO him, and this is huge because he is SD, and I'm expecting this to be Flame Charge now. Now I did calc, if he is Adamant at +2, it is a roll for him to kill Flame Charge. It is, although in my favor to, like very much in my favor to live a +2 Adamant Flame Charge with Excadrill. So if he is Jolly, then I should guarantee live a Flame Charge at +2 from the Silvally. But yeah, the fact that this Fusion Bolt doesn't 2 KO, I didn't have any investment, so that makes sense. Maybe if I had some investment, it would have been better. But yeah, this is getting really close right now because he does have the Flame Charge, and I go for the Fusion Bolt. I was really close to going Drill right there, but I realized that Flame Charge was probably coming out right here, and he could have won this game if I did go in a Drill. So I'm gonna sack off my Kieran Black. I also lived, if he didn't get that Swords Dance up, I also lived a multi-attack with Kieran Black. So that's also why I made that Fusion Bolt play. And now comes out the Excadrill. So we're going to see, can it live a Flame Charge at +2? And it does. So I'm going to be able to kill with an Earthquake. And that means I pretty much win this game because he's going to bring in Finny. He is leftovers, so he's not any like that 50% berry shit. He's going to outspeed and kill my Drill, so he is timid. But that's completely fine because I'm just going to go on a Mega Aerodactyl. I'm going to go for a Wing Attack, and 2 of these Wing Attacks should kill, and he cannot kill me in return. So Mega Aerodactyl just fucked. It was so good this match, and I'm so happy at how Mega Aerodactyl performed this season. Finally, it does like a ton of work in some match, but that was great. This was such a good game. It was a really clean game against Trev, and I'm really happy for it. Just a fun game against Trev. I'm sorry for the long ass video. It's about 50 minutes long, and I'm so sorry, dude. I am so sorry, but it was such a good match, and I'm really excited for it. I was really excited for it, so I wanted to go through a whole team builder and show it off. But we won round 1 of playoffs, which is huge. I'm so happy. I wanted to show something in this league, and I didn't want to just make playoffs. I wanted to end the regular season with a really high record, and since I didn't do as high as I wanted to, I want to show what I'm made out of in playoffs, and I did win. I did win quarterfinals, so we are moving on to semifinals. Hopefully we can win that game. We can move on to finals, and you know, I want to take the whole fucking league. So that's what I'm going for. Next week we should be battling the winner between Mono and Blake. So whoever wins that match is who is going to get fucked by the POW next week, my dudes. So yeah, that was just such a good game. Like, I really love this game. I was involved in it the entire time, and that Silvally was so close to winning. That was really scary. It ended up being a super close game, so that was really fun. I love you, Trev. You're the best. Make sure you go check him out, and you know, I'll see you guys next time. We're in this to win this, bitches, but I'm out. Peace.